Hello, this is Kelly Jennings again, your Fresh Fit Life nutritionist and dietitian. I'd like to take a few minutes this time to talk to you about carbohydrates. If you've read through the book at all or looked at your Eat Clean meal plan, you'll notice right away that a moderately low carbohydrate intake is one of the hallmarks of your Eat Clean plan. You'll also notice that there are more carbs during the day and less at night on your meal plan. There are very good reasons for this. So hang with me here today for just a couple minutes and I'll explain my thoughts on carbs to you. It all starts with food digestion, physiology, and how your hormones respond to carbs. So let's take a minute and talk about that. When you eat, you're eating some combination of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and fluids. Vitamins and minerals are within those, right? So those go into your mouth, down your esophagus to your stomach. Your stomach's job is to start churning these foods into nutrients that can be absorbed later in your intestines. So it is using acid and enzymes and actually mechanically churning like a blender your foods to get them broken down. From your stomach, foods act very differently. There's carbohydrates, there's proteins, fats, and fluids like we talked about. Well, carbohydrates, and especially those that are refined, so refined ones are generally white sugars, white flours, that sort of thing. They are going to leave very, very quickly. It's easy for your body to break down those bonds, send them through. Now, if those carbs are in liquid form, hot chocolate, your mocha, soda, juice, in a liquid form, and they're refined, they basically don't need any breaking down, right? They just have simple little bonds to break apart. They're already liquefied through to your intestines. Now, if we have really good whole food, higher fiber carbs, those are going to take longer because those fiber bonds are very difficult for our bodies to break down. In fact, we can't even break down all of them and use them for energy. Some of them are going to stay together and never get absorbed. They're going to instead be food for our intestines. This is one reason why a cow can weigh hundreds and hundreds of pounds eating grass, essentially a vegetable, and we could never be overweight by 100 pounds or 200 or 300 if all we ate were vegetables and that was it. It's because a cow has the enzymes to break apart these bonds and use that grass for energy, and we do not. We can't break down all fiber. So this is leading to what we're going to talk about, how that's one reason why high fiber carbohydrates are very different from refined ones and might be something we use more of. So refined carbohydrates, especially liquid ones, go first. Later, proteins. Later, fats, and later, fiber. So let's go on the pathway with those refined carbs. Those go into the intestines. Super easy to break down. May not even need more enzyme action in the intestines because they are ready to be absorbed. Absorbed like 100% very quickly to the liver. The liver is like the mailroom of your body. It takes in packages, sorts them, and sends them out where they're supposed to go. Now, in the case of refined carbohydrates, those are going out as blood sugar. Now, for anyone who doesn't have diabetes, your body is very good at keeping your blood sugars within a normal range. So when I say normal though, even at the high and low ends of this, you may feel bad effects. So this is like when you're hangry, so angry and hungry, when you have a low blood sugar and you are moody and you're angry and you need food right now, that would be kind of a low blood sugar. But even so, if you don't have diabetes, it's within parameters that aren't going to cause a lot of harm to your body. You just might feel it mentally and physically a little bit. High blood sugars as well. It's not going to go so far out that it's going to cause major harm to your body, but you just may not feel as good as you would if you had a more steady in the middle sort of thing. Now, someone with diabetes or high blood sugars or low blood sugars that are out of this range, they have something totally different going on. Their body has lost the ability to keep them within the range, if that makes sense. So, from the liver out into the bloodstream, blood sugar. Now, your body doesn't like having excess blood sugar though. The whole mechanism that you have in place if you don't have diabetes is now you have hormones that are going to take care of these sugars, and the way they're going to do that is when you have too much sugar, insulin is going to come, and what it is like a little key. It opens up the cells and allows that sugar to go from the bloodstream where it could do some harm if it got too high into the cells where it can't do harm. Now, things that blood sugar does for someone whose body allows them to get too high and doesn't open up cells. If your body didn't do that, then you could have too high of blood sugars. What happens is arteries harden, and this is why sometimes when people have diabetes, if they've had high blood sugars too long, they lose vision, they lose kidney function, they can lose feet and toes because infections can get there and they can't feel it because their arteries are too hard, and so those signals and pathways are no longer working right. So Your body doesn't want that to happen, sends out insulin. Insulin gets the sugar, stores it in the cells. Sounds great, right? This is not great. The problem is the more insulin your body has to pump, the more sugar gets stored in cells, the more fat your body stores. The more insulin your body has to pump and the more times it stores those sugars over and over, the less sensitive your cells become to insulin. So now the next time it has to pump more. The more fat your body stores and the less fat it's willing to break down and the less sensitive or insulin resistant it becomes. The next time it has to store more. So the times that this is going to happen is when you're eating too many or drinking too many refined carbs, or also when you eat just too large of meals all at once instead of smaller ones, and it has to deal with the blood sugars that come from carbs or proteins or fats if it's just an overload of food. So what do we want to do? We got to take those refined carbs out. And not only are we going to take most of the refined carbs out, unless again it's like a celebratory meal, once in a while occasion, or a cheat meal. We're not only going to take those refined carbs out, we're also going to take out too large of quantities of any carbs. And what's more is at night when you no longer really even need those carbs, because what carbs do for us is they give us some energy that is efficient for our bodies to use. If you're working out, they're a great source before and after, so your body feels good. But let's say it's in the evening, and let's say you worked out early in the morning, and you did all your stuff, you worked all day, came home, and now you're gonna have dinner, and you might play with your kids, you might watch some TV, and you might go to bed. You're not gonna need a lot of carbs there. So for you to consume a bunch, all your body is going to do with those, they're not gonna burn them while they're in the bloodstream, they are going to store them. Your body is going to store it. So, moral of the story, we are watching out for refined carbs and we're going to minimize those. We are watching out for overloading any type of carbs, even the good ones. And we're just going to have a good balance of carbohydrates from whole foods, proteins, and fats. When we do eat carbs, except for when we're working out, we are going to make them high fiber. At night, when we don't need carbs, we are going to minimize them completely. 2 cheat meals a week. You can have grains and carbs added. The other ones, we're going for proteins, vegetables, and healthy fats. And the 5th one is we are going to use carbs strategically if you are working out more than an hour a day, because I do believe that those can help you with pre-training during a workout if it's really long, over 90 minutes, and in recovery. So that's the lowdown on carbs. I hope that makes sense to you. Keep reading, you'll learn more in the book, and let's go on for our Fresh Fit life.